And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentleman of Crypto, episode 1139. Today is Thursday, August 31st, 2023. I'm King, here to bridge the gap between community and crypto, Monday through Friday, every day, usually at 10ish. Going a little early today. Today's top stories: breaking Grayscale, of course, wins SEC lawsuit for Bitcoin ETF review. SEC's first deadlines to improve 7 Bitcoin ETFs coming over the next week. One less crypto-friendly candidate. Miami mayor ends U.S. presidential run. And Arkham IDs Robinhood as fifth largest Ethereum holder. But first and foremost, of course, we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at these prices on the day. And yes, more sideways movement for the most part. Of course, we got a quick little pump days ago, about 24 hours ago, once that news for the SEC and Grayscale came back. We saw the price pump from about 25.9 to almost about 28,000. But here, let me bring this up. Today, Bitcoin is coming in at $27,173. So still up a little bit, but down from what we saw, down 0.85% 24-hour clock. BNB at number 4 at $223, down 0.66%. Ethereum at number 2 at $1,706, down 0.8%. Number 7, Dogecoin is at 6 cents, up 1.06%. And number 10 is Tron at 7 cent, down 0.18%. The trending tokens are CyberConnect up 15.4%, Pepe down 3.54%, and of course Bitcoin. And the Fear and Greed Index actually increased about 5. Of course, this is the actual people who are buying the news and selling the rumor, or excuse me, yeah, unfortunately, you're supposed to buy the rumor, sell the news, but they're buying the news, selling the rumor. The Fear and Greed Index, I'm assuming, has went up because of this SEC Grayscale win over the SEC. Bitcoin dominance at 48.8% and Ethereum at 18.9%. So not much has changed there on those actual prices. Other than that, let me give some quick shout outs before we get this show rolling. Again, it's going to be a short show. Usually when I get on early, I got to make them short, unfortunately. What's going on? Crypto Night Train, Tex, Smitty Farms, Reno Gambo. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. No worries. Today we're going to be a short show going over some quick news stories. Of course, we had to cover this SEC one since it dropped a couple days ago. And of course, tomorrow I'll be back for Fuck Bitcoin Friday. So be on the lookout for that. But today's top story, let's go ahead and get into it again. You've already saw the last couple of days. Grayscale has officially won the SEC lawsuit for their Bitcoin ETF review. I want to make it clear this is not for their Bitcoin ETF. This is just for the review. Now, one thing I want to say about this lawsuit is I think it should be actual criminal penalties to go along with this, and even a possible like real civil penalties where we see the SEC have to pay the likes of Grayscale. Why? Because again, I was told this from a high-powered lawyer back in 2017, but the SEC weren't even reviewing the ETF applications, right? Like literally they would get an ETF application from a company, a project, or whatever. And from what I was being told, they either would let it collect dust or they will actually ball it up and shoot it at the trash can and get that thing out of there. Bottom line is they weren't even reviewing the application. As a government regulatory agency that's being paid for by tax-paying money, tax-paying dollars, this was ridiculous. Like literally, this is waste, fraud, and abuse of them not doing their jobs. So to me, it was like, hey, this is a criminal case and definitely a civil case as far as the judge has already ruled that what the SEC did was wrong. Now we need to figure out how much money that actually costs the likes of Grayscale and those like it. And again, they could calculate this cost not by saying that we would have got an ETF, but just the anticipation of the possible review and the anticipation of getting an ETF could have caused the price point to swing, their actual stock price to swing, and so on and so forth. We're seeing that right now. The fact that they won this lawsuit, we're seeing price points actually swing. So to me, this is a very important thing. But again, the appeals court said the SEC's decision to reject the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF application was arbitrary and capricious in its ruling. You don't say. Like literally, the SEC has been operating on their own whims now for years. We've seen it happen, unabated for the most part since 2016, 2017. Like literally nothing has stood in the SEC's way from doing what it wants to do. But again, shout out to this appeals judge for doing it the right way. But again, this crypto asset manager, Grayscale Investments, scored a major victory against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in its efforts to convert its over-the-counter Grayscale Bitcoin Trust GBTC into a listed Bitcoin exchange traded fund ETF. Previously, the SEC rejected the GBTC application on grounds that the products were not designed to prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices. Grayscale subsequently sued, and the decision has been overturned. And what's even crazy is, again, they're saying that these products aren't designed to prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practice, when literally, again, people keep forgetting the reason why Bitcoin came about. 2008 financial crisis, subprime loans, you were giving lenders way above, like way higher grades than what they should have got. Lenders were getting A's, A pluses, B's. These essentially were saying that these lenders, people who are taking out the loans, they have good enough credit, a good enough job, and good enough income to pay back the loans. They're getting essentially a letter grade on it. And instead of getting the letter grades they needed and deserved, C's, D's, and F's, that would, subsequently show that they could not afford or even get the loan. They're given A pluses, A's, B's, B pluses. Them as well as other lending companies were given these grades and allowed to get these loans. This was all under the watchful eye of the United States government. This is in modern times, 2008. SEC was there, IRS, all these other agencies you always hear about was there, and these things happen. And not only essentially almost collapsed the national economy, almost collapsed the international economy. And literally the only reason it didn't collapse all these economies is because our government, once again, arbitrarily and capriciously decided to take taxpayer funds to pay back these private companies that were going to cause these financial collapses. So not only were we using not only were we using taxpayer money to regulate it and to try to prevent fraudulent, manipulative acts and practices, so they say, we also use taxpayer money to bail out the same organizations that actually did these things that weren't stopped or prevented. So to see these same organizations like the SEC, these same regulators come around and say, well, crypto isn't ready for this and Grayscale isn't ready for this ETF because it's not designed to prevent fraudulent, manipulative acts and practices. I would say like most mechanisms and organizations like of power here in the United States aren't designed for that, and nor do they do that. You know what I mean? So we're not hiring 83,000 IRS agents for nothing, people. So the fact that they use this as their reasoning was already absurd, but it went, right? It worked. It went, and one judge actually agreed. Unfortunately, the second judge did not. So again, according to August 29th court filings, U.S. Courts of Appeals Circuit Judge Naomi Rao ordered Grayscale's petition for review to be granted, and the SEC's order to deny the GBTC listing application to be vacated. Previously, Judge Rao said the SEC did not offer any explanation as to why Grayscale was in the wrong. However, the order does not guarantee the eventual listing of a Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF. So one thing I will say, again, to go along with this is just because they have had their review overturned does not mean they'll get an ETF. If anything, we could see the SEC act even more capricious and arbitrary. Like we could see retaliatory, what's the word? Retaliatory efforts, right? We could see retaliation coming from the SEC. Would that be too far to see coming? Like, no, I think that's certainly in the realm of possibilities to see the SEC start to retaliate because of this. So one thing they could do is say, fine, we'll look at all these ETF applications and we'll deny them all at once. And you all can go through a courts appeals process and so on and so forth for the next year or two until we actually start to say that, yes, we can allow this ETF, until we grant regulatory approval to these ETFs. So again, this is why I keep saying where it's interesting where you see things happen where it's like, if ETFs come, everybody's just assuming the price is going to go up, or Grayscale beat the SEC on the appeals for their ETF review. Like that does, like for that fear and greed index to go to 35 to 40, it was ridiculous. It still was an appeals court. If it were to happen in the first court, I would actually say, okay, this would make me more bullish, but it didn't. It just happened in the appeals court, and they just said this was for you to review it. This does not include what the SEC could do, and it's still wielding power. So I don't think the fear and greed index should have went up another 5 points, and I don't think the price point should have been rebounded another couple $1,000s, all because one appeal judge said that, hey, you all not reviewing these applications is wrong. I'm telling you, all they did was put a spotlight on the SEC. They're not going to slow down. They've already essentially been doing criminal acts. I mean, and like most gangsters and criminals, they double down. So I see them doubling down. and this causing retaliatory actions. If anything, no one might get an ETF right now. I don't know, or at least no one except BlackRock, because we know how they're playing as well. Let's see some of the comments really quick. Let's see. Jake said SEC going to take down futures instead of approved ETF. We got one dip to 20K, I believe, then blast off, but hopefully I'm wrong. Hey, I hope so too. Any word on the Wagner like Bitcoin squad bring independence to oppress economic systems? Africa could use it now as new governments form. Listen, man. Hey, we're arguing over some very simple things in the world today. I don't think any Wagner like Bitcoin squad is going to happen. Before ETF, they got to take out Binance in every ETF application. Speak of Coinbase as the market maker. Coinbase definitely is not. Binance is the top dog, so they need to take out CZ first. And we're seeing that right now. They're saying CZ might actually get some criminal subpoenas here soon as well. Let's see. I don't know. You gotta holla at him on his Twitter. See what's going on. I don't know, but show must go on, folks. All right. SEC's first deadlines to approve 7 Bitcoin ETFs are coming over the next week. That's right. Analysts, I would say Angeles here in Los Angeles. Analysts say the best case scenario for crypto is that the Securities and Exchange Commission approves the batch of spot Bitcoin ETFs, but the agency may exercise its right to an appeal. Again, that's what I think is going to happen. Like, are you out of your mind? You think the SEC is going to get slapped in court this week and then next week approve 7 Bitcoin ETFs? Oh my goodness. Like you all said in the comments, you are smoking on that good as well. Listen, SEC is not about to get, this is Mr. Burns we're talking about. Mr. Burns, Gary Gensler, is not about to get slapped in court and then hand over power. As I just kind of guess, I think what's going to happen is nothing is going to get approved, not only the next week, but over the next few months. Again, we're expecting the next big ETF approvals to come, I believe, and after this October, November, December, yeah, end of this year, early next year, I think February and March before the actual happening. So that'll be another batch. But I don't think we'll get any of these 7 next week. But hey, you never know. I've been wrong before. Let's see. Investment firm Bitwise will learn if its ETF will win the SEC's approval on September 1st. So that's literally tomorrow. Highly doubt Bitwise get it first. While BlackRock, VanEck, Fidelity, Invesco, and WisdomTree will all be awaiting the SEC's decision for their funds by September 2nd. So, and Valkyr is on September 4th. I'll say this. I highly doubt anyone gets it because of what just happened in court. But if anyone does get it, I am saying that the price, while we will have a initial pump, I think is actually going to dip before the halvening and even possibly after the halvening for the first time from we see. And the reason why is because if they approve it, is because their analyst on the government and regulatory side has already they've already crunched the numbers to say if we can do these ETFs the same way we did these futures, we could be looking at a $10,000 Bitcoin, right? They're already saying we could pull money out of this market if we do this the proper way, not actually put money in. So I think if anyone does get approved here in the next few days, we're gonna see the price again pump maybe a month or so, and then dip. I think it'll be a slow dip into the halvening and even slower dip afterwards into some type of new project, says some crazy shit after the halvening. But we'll see what happens with that. Let's see what else we got going on. What else do we got going on? Okay, JG Wetworth, what's going on, Jams? Hey, shout out to Crypto and Down on Tuesdays. Make sure you check them out. I'm going to need to see that I'm gonna need to get y'all in here, JJ, on Friday to get to talking about this this token we all used to watch. You know which one I'm talking about. I'm not gonna pump it right now. All right, last couple of quick stories before I run. One less crypto-friendly candidate. Miami mayor ends U.S. president run. That's right. Alongside with long shot Democratic hopeful Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Francis Suarez is one of the few openly crypto-friendly candidates running in 2024. So the story is in the headlines. Don't have much time left, so I'm just going to quickly say again, Mayor Suarez has dropped out of the presidential race, and this could help him refocus on the city of Miami, and hopefully that Miami coin will get up and pumping. I'm sure you all, like me, have a shit ton of still in that token. Would like to hopefully get out of there one day. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. But again, not exactly sure what happened. He wasn't polling great already to begin with. So I guess he decided, hey, this is enough, and step back. So that's Miami Mayor Suarez saying that, hey, he is no longer in the race for the So onward and forward to the next ones as well. And last but not least, had to talk about this. Arkham ID's Robinhood as fifth largest Ethereum holder. That's right. Arkham Intelligence said the wallet contains approximately 2.54 billion worth of Ether under custody for user balances. Again, that's $2.54 billion of Ethereum for Robinhood, the fifth largest Ethereum wallet holder. And to that, I say, you fucking idiots. That's right. You motherfucking idiots. And I'm not talking to any of my warriors out there. We're talking to the mainstream adoption folks. But I know it probably won't happen because they already had their big boo-boo when they stopped trading during GameStop. But if they had not had that, Robinhood would more than likely already rug pull everyone. And what I mean is, like, literally Robinhood owns all that Ethereum. They own it all. Yes, it is for users, it's user funds, but Robinhood owns that Ethereum. They own all their crypto. No one else does. I don't think you can transfer it off the proper way right now. So, and I could be wrong, I haven't been on it in a while, but Robinhood owns that. It would make my teeth white if tomorrow morning we woke up and like the founders of Robinhood and all their wallets and everything just like literally disappeared off the face of the earth. I would be so excited because no one has still learned their lesson yet. So Robinhood, a new kid in town, is now the fifth largest Ethereum wallet holders. Like, another reason why Ethereum is what it is as well. So again, I love to see this, especially as Ethereum moves over to proof of stake. I would love to see someone like, or organization like Robinhood say, hey, we're going to be a node now with all this Ethereum we have, like literally just control the market. But again, this is madness to me. We are letting a centralized company like Robinhood become the fifth wealthiest bag holder of Ethereum through their user funds. I guess FTX was enough. I guess Celsius wasn't enough. I guess every other centralized thing out there wasn't enough. Let's give it all to Robinhood. Robinhood, do me a big favor. Do the rug, all right? Take the money, exit, scam, stage left, whatever you want to call it. Do it. We need this Band-Aid to be ripped off to teach all these crypto enthusiasts out there a big lesson. I think Robinhood is the one who could do it. So with that being said, smash that like and share. And I would definitely be back tomorrow for another Fuck Bitcoin Friday.